watching TGZ TV. You are watching TGZ TV.
The Global Zambian, the only magazine that celebrates quality, cross-culture lifestyle and entertainment.
Hello, welcome. It's been a bit since we've done a live, particularly doing like a show review, and this one was one that was very, very much needed. Okay. And for all those who are tuning in for the very first time, welcome. This is TGZ TV, and we are doing a review of the newest Netflix series, or should I say reality show, titled Young, Famous and African. And I literally binge watched it because I was actually very, very excited, because there's never really been an African reality show like this that represents people from Africa. And so it is one that I definitely felt was necessary for us to give a review for. But before I go ahead and show you the trailer, for those who've not seen it, who have no idea, who are still looking, to see if they can watch it, I just want to send a kind little teeny wincy reminder, for those who are obviously watching us right now over on YouTube. Please do not forget to click on that subscribe button, and of course click on that bell button so that you can receive notifications every time we come live like we are right now, and obviously every time we upload new videos. And of course, I don't forget, for those people who are watching us over on Facebook, we are literally broadcasting on quite a number of Facebook platforms tonight, and I just want to remind you to obviously click that like button on the video that you're watching right now, and of course follow the page that you are watching from, and tweak those notifications so that you can receive updates every time we post new content, every time we upload new videos, and every time we come live like we are right now. And so, as I was saying, for those who are tuning in for the first time, those who are curious, about it, this show I think is quite interesting. It's very intriguing. I just want to say hello to a few people in the chat. Hello, Powerful. Welcome to the live. Hey, Avies. Welcome. Hey, Fila. Welcome to the live. Hey, Steph, welcome to the live. Stephanie, welcome. I look forward to having you guys give your opinions on this show. I really am curious to know what everybody thinks. Obviously, I'm going to be giving a very quick rundown on the personalities that are in the show, and to just give you a gist of the show. And then we are actually going to quickly get into viewer call-in so that we can just have a proper back and forth discussion to hear what people's opinions on the characters, on the show, on the production and everything, is, because I'm quite excited to get right into it, to be honest. And so before I do that, I just am going to play the trailer for those people who don't know anything, who are curious, who want to know what it's all about, and would like to, have a taste. Here it is. Honestly, actually, even if I've watched the whole series, that trailer actually still fascinates me. It still intrigues me. Hey Teresa, hi, how are you? Welcome to the live. Welcome, welcome. We look forward to hearing your opinions, if you've got any, about the show. And so basically, obviously, let me just change my little ticker of here to remind people what we're discussing today. We're discussing next new reality show, Young, Famous, and African. And so basically, the series follows obviously a group of young affluent African personalities, and they range from various parts of Africa. From Nigeria, we've got a couple of people from Nigeria, and then we've got a couple of people from South Africa. We've got people from Tanzania. We've got Zimbabwe as well in the mix. So it's quite a decent mix, because when I actually first saw the trailer, I actually thought it was going to be only South Africans. I didn't know there was going to be like a nice little mix, which is, really, really good, because it kind of adds to the dynamics of the relationships and how they understand each other, that sort of thing. And so I'm going to quickly go over to my window, where I'm just going to share it with you. First, actually, before I do that, I'm just going to show you the entire cast. Okay, the main cast, who you're seeing on the screen right now. Those are the people who are the main members of the cast. You find that from, I think when looking from my side, I think I'm looking from left to right. You've got Annie, who's Two-Face's wife and partner. And then you've got the second person at the top is Diamond Platnumz. As you all know, he's a multi-award winning, world-renowned Tanzanian artist. And then we've got is it Kanye? I think is it Kanye, how they pronounce her name? She is a socialite, but I think turned actress, who has come with her fair share of controversy in her span of her career. And then we've got Swanky Jerry. Swanky Jerry is actually one of my favorite characters, because his personality I find to be consistent throughout the series, if truth be told. And then we've got Naked DJ. I'm going to get into his name a little bit later, because I'm very curious as to why he chose that name of all names. And then we've got Nadia, who's is a hip hop artist, hip hop artist, and obviously is friends with Kanye. I swear I'm going to keep getting this name wrong. I do apologize. Who's friends with Kanye. And then we've got Andile. Andile, who is friends, I think he connects quite a lot of the people, because he's friends with Swanky Jerry, but he's also friends, I think, with Annie as well, to a degree. And so he connects a lot of the people. He's friends with Kanye as well. And then we've got, obviously, finally, last but not least, we've got Zari, who just so happens to be Diamond Platnumz's ex and baby mama. He's got two kids. They've got two kids together, but they're not together anymore. So those are the main cast members. And obviously we've got some other people who come in who are kind of like, I suppose if you're looking at a Housewives show, you kind of say they'll be perceived as almost like a friend of the show, I suppose, or something like that. So we've got those people who kind of come in and out. And one of them happens to be Two-Face. Obviously he is Anne's husband, so he comes into the show, which I was not expecting. And so when we go into episode 1, we're actually just getting introduced to all the characters. Okay, I do like Zuri. I do not. Oh, you do not like I thought you were saying you like Zuri. Oh, we're getting there already. We start getting introduced to a lot of the characters. The main ones that we get introduced in episode 1 are Diamond, pretty much everybody except for Zuri. We actually get to meet Zuri, if I'm not mistaken, either towards the end of episode 1 or in episode 2. That's when we get to find out who she is and what her involvement is, in the show. I actually thought she was not part of the main ensemble cast initially, but I noticed very quickly, I found out very quickly that she was actually part of the ensemble cast, so that's Zuri's role in that part. And so when they introduce us to the cast members, obviously they first introduce Kanye. Oh my gosh, honestly, let me put her individual picture up. Kanye Mbao. Okay, that's Kanye Mbao, who you're looking at right now. She's the first person they introduced into the show, and she talks about how she was tired of being a sugar baby, and now it's time for her to be a cougar. And so, as it is known, it seems for part of her career, I suppose, her career path, she was dating the older men who used to take care of her. But now, she's kind of made a name for herself out of that. She's established herself as someone in entertainment, as a socialite, as a influencer, that sort of thing. And now she is dating downwards. I mean, she says she's 35 years old, and the guy that she's dating is 27 or 28, somewhere there. When she said she was a cougar, I honestly thought she was going to be older than 35. And I thought then the man that she was dating was going to be like 25. But I honestly don't feel the age gap is that much of a big difference, but that's just my opinion, And then when we get introduced, obviously, to Kanye, we quickly also get introduced to Nadia, who is her good friend. Nadia, who is the hip hop artist. Nadia, I think, I wasn't sure whether I was going to like her in the beginning, but I quickly found out that she's actually really down to earth, and she just does she doesn't care too much for the glitz and the glam, and for me, honestly, that's my kind of girl. She doesn't care too much for the glitz and glam. And for all those men out there who think every woman is after the glitz and glam, Nadia is a perfect example that you can have someone who's doing amazing. She can glam it up whenever she wants to, but she does have that tomboy-esque about her. She basically just does her own thing. She's, in my opinion, the true boss lady. No shade to Diamond Platnumz's girlfriend. What's her name again? X. I need to get used to, like, literally, I binge watched this thing, and it's gonna be a minute to memorize everybody's name. What is her name? Zari. That's it, Zari. Oh my gosh, confusing all the names around. And so we get introduced to them. We find out they're good friends, and we quickly find out that Nadia is actually dating somebody who is stateside in the United States of America. So they've got this long distance relationship going on. And so she's been planning, obviously, on going over to the United States to go visit him. But before that happens, Kanye organizes to see if there's a potential of her and Diamond Platnumz to get together. So I'm thinking, okay, but your friend's got a boyfriend. Why are you trying to hook her up with somebody else when she's already got somebody in her life? And obviously you've got Diamond Platnumz, who just happens to have Zari living in South Africa with 2 kids. And so again, they're within the same, friend circle. So my thinking is, if you're within the same friend circle, why are you trying to get your friend to be passed around within the same friend circle when the wife to your friend? So in the beginning, I was a little bit antsy about Kanye. I'll be very honest. I was a bit irritated by her. I thought she was a bit, B-E, and I thought, she was nothing but a gold digger. Because prior to this show, the only 2 people that I know who appeared in the show who I knew prior were Two-Face and Diamond Platnumz. I actually didn't know any of these people, but I quickly did look them up. A lot of them are very well known, and even outside of South Africa. I suppose it's just not those people I checked for or something. I don't know, but nevertheless, they are prominent figures. They're doing very well for themselves, So for me, it's quite weird that you're all well known. You do hang around together. Why would you want your friend to go date somebody who you also know, who you've actually been around? So that was a bit weird, and it made me feel some type of way towards Kanye. And then we started getting introduced to all the other characters. And so obviously this is where the others, they're not going to be in the exact chronological order that the show introduced them, because I can't fully remember the order they introduced them in. But we've got Andile, who happens to be I think is a radio presenter and also a TV personality. And he's a bit of a player. He's got 2 baby mamas who later on in one of the episodes, he actually brought them both to an event that he was holding. And everybody was looking at him like, who even does that? Everyone was literally, honestly, like, who does that? Who does that? And so there's a bit of a story in regards to him and Zari, but we're going to discuss that a bit later on when we get the callers coming in. We can kind of like, go back and forth and discussing that part. And then we obviously get introduced to Annie, who is Annie Macaulay Idibia. I never heard of Two-Face's wife. I never even knew he had a wife or anything like that. So it was interesting to actually get to see his wife. And she ended up being one of my favorite characters, to be honest, in the show, simply because she was able to let go of her inhibitions, in the sense that she didn't put a guard up on revealing what she wanted to reveal for the show. Some people will stay guarded in the sense that they don't want to be too vulnerable when the viewers watch them. But she actually put her vulnerability in the forefront, which ironically, interestingly enough, Kanye had plans to manipulate and use against her, but that kind of backfired because they ended up becoming close, which was kind of like a sweet little journey to actually watch, if truth be told, you know. And then obviously they introduced Naked DJ, who I still do not understand why his name is Naked DJ. It doesn't make sense. Does he like being naked? I mean, I did notice within the show, he kept on every now and then he made quite what I would consider crass comments, you know, where he had a lot of sexual innuendos every now and then. And I didn't understand that. I didn't understand the necessity for the crass comments. You know, every now and then he would make a comment, you're like, ew, why did you have to say that? It's really not necessary, you know. And then obviously we've got Swanky Jerry, who was introduced at the same time as Annie, as they had just touched down in South Africa. He ended up being one of literally my favorite person on the show, because he basically, first of all, his dress sense is on point. And he's just positive and he just gets on with it. He just does him. He doesn't care about the drama. He doesn't care about anything else. He just cares about focusing what he needs to do, you know, and I kind of love that about him, you know. He doesn't exude any negative energy. It was really, really refreshing to have him. And in a lot of cases, when it comes to reality shows, obviously they will put someone who is gay and they will make them almost like a token gay person, almost like he's an accessory. But with him, he owned the room, he owned the place, so he didn't appear as an accessory for the group. If anything, he was also quite instrumental in bringing some of the people together, because of the fact that he is connected to a lot of the people, being a stylist, you know. And then obviously, as everybody knows, there was Diamond Platnumz, who's multi-award winning, who just so happens to be connected to obviously Zari. You know, with Diamond Platnumz, again, he's actually very good friends with Andile. So that's where the connection is. Obviously, Andile is connected to people like Kanye. And so it was only natural for them to kind of come together as a group. And last but not least, obviously, we've got Zari. You know, Zari, obviously, gorgeous woman. But I slowly started disliking her. I don't think she's dislikable. It's just some of the things she did, or maybe how she goes about saying things or doing certain things, that makes her kind of unlikable on the show. But we are going to get into that as well. So all in all, you know, as you can see, this is pretty much all the cast. The main cast are the ones in the front, and then you've got the others kind of like on the sides. When I first saw the poster, I actually didn't pay attention to the people who were in the back. Had I done that, I would have noticed a few faces who kind of came later on the show. And so with that said, you know, we are gonna just jump into sharing my screen. Okay, I'm gonna share my screen so that I can be able to show you guys just a little bit, because I think obviously, like myself, a lot of people had no idea who these people were, and this is an opportunity to just kind of give the audience, you know, an idea, for those who are curious again about who these people are, or I don't know them, etc., that sort of thing. Those who don't know, it gives you an idea of who they are. So we're going to have a look down here, as you can see on my screen right here. Obviously, it's the cast, right? Angela doesn't have a picture over here, but when you go over his Twitter account, you will quickly find that he is a DJ and radio personality. So honestly, I'm not going to jump a page because I'll have to kind of like switch the share. But when you go over to Kanye Mbao, as you can see with Kanye Mbao, it says over here, she's known professionally as Kanye Mbao, South African actress, television host, and artist. So I'm assuming she's a musician. She's listed at 36 years old, and her previous spouse was Mandla Mthembu, which I'm assuming was the billionaire that she used to date before, because that's what I heard. This is allegedly billionaire. I'm not sure exactly if he is. There is an interesting story when regards to her, in the sense that I think it is something that maybe we might be able to discuss, where I had no idea. If you can see this tiny little picture there on the corner, you know, the person you see on the left and the person you see on the right are the same person. So basically, it seems she did something with her skin. I actually thought that was her original skin tone, but unfortunately, the whole little Kim type situation, this is not her original skin tone. I don't know the backstory as why she chose to do that, and I'm sure there's a story somewhere there that actually says, if anybody knows the backstory of this, you feel free to let me know in the chat. And then obviously we've got Nadia Nakai. Nadia, who obviously is South African-born Zimbabwean rapper. She's a songwriter and television personality, 31 years old. And interestingly enough, her associated acts are Casper Nyovest. So basically, I think she might be signed. I'm not sure if she's signed to Def Jam or not, but they've got Casper and they've got our very own Cleo Ice Queen right next there, Gemini Major Questa and Steph London. So it's quite interesting, the mix. It's interesting that I've actually never heard of her, but I did have a look to see some of her repertoire, you know, and she's very talented. And then obviously Diamond Platnumz, I don't know if he even needs an explanation. You know, he is from Tanzania. You know, he does, like, he's a bongo flavor recording artist, dancer, philanthropist, and a businessman of the Ha heritage. So he was born and raised in Tandale, Dar es Salaam. You know, he is 32 years old, which I'm kind of shocked. I actually thought he was older, I'll be honest. So as you can see, he's got quite a plethora of children, which unfortunately are not all from the same mom, which seems to be a habit. And by that, I mean, I'm referencing Two-Face, who we are going to be discussing in regards to Annie and her being vulnerable and letting out her vulnerability and her relationship with Two-Face, which quite frankly, in my opinion, is really, really heartbreaking. And then we've got Zari. Zari, they've written, you know, commonly known as Zari Hassan, alias Zari, the boss lady. She's a Ugandan socialite, musician, and businesswoman, and she resides in South Africa, where she runs her businesses. I'm not exactly sure what her businesses are, because so far all we've seen is her being a socialite and that sort of thing, but I'm not really sure. But in here, she says she's known for marrying Ivan Semwanga and being a socialite and dating younger men. That is the craziest description ever. I find that to be the absolute craziest description. Who even wrote that? Are people allowed to write stuff like this about other people? Did she write that herself? Because I think that's an absolute madness. You know, and then obviously we go over to Annie Macaulay Idibia, who is Two-Face's wife. You know, she's a Nigerian model, presenter, and actress. So she was nominated in the Best Supporting Actress category at 2009 Best of Nollywood Awanda. So she's 37 years old, and obviously she's been married to Two-Face since 2012. So they've been married for quite a long time. 2022 marks them, you know, married for 10 years. And as you've seen in the show, they did renew their vows so they can have an extra, I suppose, 10 years that he wanted. And she's like, what are you talking about? I want extra, you know, unlimited years. So it's quite funny. And obviously we've got Swanky Jerry, his full name, real name, should I say, Jeremiah Ogbobo. So he looks very different here. I do prefer him with a fuller head of hair. But you know, obviously better known as Swanky Jerry, Nigerian celebrity fashion stylist, known for his work with Tonto Dike, D'banj, Ice Prince, MI, Two-Face, Juliet Ibrahim, and Davido, amongst other artists. So that kind of gives you a little bit of the gist, you know, of the main characters in the show. And so with that said, guys, I'm going to be I'm going to be dropping link, okay, in the chat for those who want to join in, so that we can just get into it and get into all the little details. I love Swanky's style as well, Steph. I actually love Swanky's style. It's pretty cool. He was never off. He never had an off day at all, unlike the women's wigs. And I know I'm wearing a wig, you know, cosplay, but you know what? I don't have to be on those HD cameras, so me not care. I'm still gonna critique them. Okay, so you know, I'm still gonna critique them because I just feel, I know a number of people have said, oh, but maybe it's one of those, you know, first season type situations where you don't know. But I'm thinking, at this day and age, really? But you've been on TV, you've been doing all those things. Shouldn't your hair and makeup be better? That's just my opinion. You know, shouldn't your hair and makeup be better? I mean, I think, I don't know if I can fully blame the cast members for some of the really bad edges and some of the really terrible cakey makeup. I don't think I can fully blame them, because I blame their stylists, you know, their hairstylists and the makeup artists, because they're the people who should know exactly what kind of makeup will work for certain types of cameras. They should also know what type of hairstyle will look better if people have to zoom in on them, you know, with the cameras and stuff like that. And I feel like the hairstylists and the makeup artists kind of let them down, because I kept on going, oh, what's going on? I mean, I'll give you a perfect example. When Anne, a number of times, obviously they had all these, you know, 4K cameras or whatever. her makeup, you could see the line between her hairline and the makeup. You're supposed to blend that in. So all those things, it might be me nitpicking, but it actually is bothersome. Allow it to just blend it in a little bit, blend it in so it can look like it's part of your skin. You know, there's nothing wrong with wearing makeup. I'm wearing makeup right now, but at least get it to blend in properly. So for guys, you can see I have dropped the link in the chat. So if you would like to join in, you know, in the discussion, feel free to click on the link and come through and give me your opinion of what you think of the show. And so as I wait to see if anybody's going to come in, I'm going to just carry on talking about the show, just giving you an insight of the different dynamics and how they kind of stand out. And so obviously in episode 1, we had a ball, I suppose, that Kanye was holding. And I say it like this, almost like kind of embarrassed, because I was like, is this the ball? Really? Oh, what are we doing? That's how I felt. You know, that's how I felt about that particular situation, because when she introduced herself, you know, she was like, I'm the this, I'm the that, and she's coming out of a Lambo and stuff like that. So when I saw the event that she was holding, it felt extremely flat to me. It felt really flat. And even Swanky Jerry made a point to say, okay, I was expecting to be like bling, 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 you know, kind of thing. And it was not, it didn't give us bling, bling, bling. So my thinking is like, what is going on? Why did we not get the bling, bling, bling of what you've talked about, you know, with everybody else boasting about this glam life that you live? And this is a lackluster ball that you've given us, you know? And it was very, very disappointing. As a matter of fact, even Anne, when she got there, obviously I think she felt the food was cold. She was a bit whiny, I'll be honest. You know, I did want to give Annie the benefit of the doubt in the beginning, but I did find her to be a little bit whiny, because I felt like it was not necessary for her to nitpick and whinge and complain so much, you know, about the, whether it be the food and stuff like that, because you're meeting these people for the first time. All of that was not really that necessary. But as they sat on the table, obviously there was Diamond Platnumz, there was Anne, there was hang on, let me go back to my list, because remember the names. There was Andile, there was Anne, there was Kanye, there was Naked DJ, there was Swanky Jerry, there was Nadia, and there was Diamond Platnumz, and there was also people like Naked DJ's girlfriend, I think Kayla or something like that. She was there as well. And they just started talking about different things, you know. And one of the things that they started talking about was Diamond Platnumz's children, and where he was like not certain whether he had 6 children or 6 or 7 children. Everyone's like, what? How do you not know? And they were like, are you waiting for a paternity test? What is happening here? You know, and I was like, and then Anne kind of reacted like, oh, that is so wrong. That is so wrong. I actually played that part back because I was not really sure on what Anne's reaction was exactly to that, because I'm like, okay, are you saying it's bad because he doesn't know, or it's bad because he's saying it in front of everybody? I was very confused. If the guy is not sure, he's not sure. There's nothing anybody can do about it. And I like the fact that in his confessional, he did explain it to say, look, there was somebody, you know, we had a thing, and she said she got pregnant, but she won't let me see my child. And so I think after that happened, that kind of calmed things down, but not before it traveled over to Kanye talking about her child, her daughter, who is 15 years old, who doesn't live with her mom, who lives next door. And even I was like, what? Andile was like, what? Anne was like, what? And I'm sure a lot of viewers are like, what? And this is not to try and judge somebody's parenting, but I just kind of feel in terms of safety, a 15-year-old in her own flat, what would you do when something happens to her? Yes, a 15-year-old can stay home alone, you know, when you go somewhere, etc. So anything can happen to her even then. But the fact that she's staying alone, I just feel it was a bad move. I was thinking, okay, is she emancipated? Because I would get it if that was the case. She requested to be emancipated from her mom. I mean, her mom did ask her, say, am I a bad mom? You know, that sort of thing. And she was like, I mean, we've got an interesting relationship. And I feel like for her saying that and using those words exactly, she's basically saying, she's not exactly saying that you're a bad mom, but she is saying maybe you could mother me more, if that makes sense, rather than being my best friend kind of situations. And I think that's where sometimes people get it wrong, where they think it's more important to be their child's best friend than actually be the parent in that relationship, you know, and that's where the lines get really, really blurred. And so obviously a lot was like, there was a lot heavy reactions to it, to the point where Anne and Andile walked off, went to another room to discuss it. And then afterwards, obviously, Kanye came and joined them and found Anne at a point of vulnerability where she was discussing her relationship with Two-Face. And she basically went on to say, while she was with him, obviously they're married, this man went and had not one, not two, not three, but four children. Four. Not one, not two, not three, four. 4 kids before even having a child with his own wife. Who does that? You're in a long-term relationship with this person, but you somehow manage to impregnate every single person except your partner. I was honestly very, very disgusted and very, very disappointed. And I'm sure a lot of people knew this story, but I didn't know this story until today. So it's still fresh in my head as to like, wow, I had no idea Two-Face could be such a dog. No idea whatsoever. And so the fact that she still stayed with him, oh, it just left a lot to be desired for me. Honestly, it left a lot to be desired for me. Like, because I'm like, girl, if this guy is doing this to you, I don't understand. For me, that's not love. I'm sorry. But if you love somebody, you will not cheat on them, period. I don't care what men say. There's something, all men cheat. No, that's you using an excuse so that you can have that window of opportunity to cheat and say all men do it and it's not emotional, but you forget about the damage that is done to the partner that you're cheating on. And I feel like with Anne, you can blatantly see that because of the way Two-Face has done her so much dirty in the years, regardless of how much she loves him and they've got beautiful kids and everything, she has become almost closed off, you know. He has made her very insecure, and that's not fair. And I really felt for her, you know. There's times when I was just like, why haven't you just left this guy? And she's doing, bear in mind, she's doing very well for herself, so she can really leave him if she wanted to, which goes to show that she really must love this person. But I don't know, there's no amount of love that will make me stick to somebody who cheats on me. I've got zero tolerance for that. I will literally divorce and keep divorcing if I'm cheated on. It's really that simple for me, you know, because that's something that I will not tolerate. That's something that I will not even try to get into. But we've got our first caller on the line. We've got our first caller. I'm just going to bring you up in a second. Here we go. Hello, Steph. Welcome.
Hello. Hello.
Hello. How are you?
I am wonderful. How are you?
I am fantastic. So, what do you think of Young, Famous, and African?
I loved it.
It was good. It was a juicy show.
It was very good.
Mhm.
I loved it. It was very interesting. The parenting part was interesting because they have 2 different styles of parenting.
Right.
And Anna is not so much of a good mother. It's like she was trying to say it was all bad for Kanda to have the daughter living in a flat, but your children is living in a whole nother country and you're not with them. So it's just like, it's 2 different parenting styles.
I mean, I kind of understood Anne's side in the sense that she's just out in South Africa temporarily. And also she left the kids with the mom to babysit, kind of like when you've traveled on business, you know what I mean? And you've left someone responsible with the kids. Whereas this child is 15 years old. They're a minor, really technically a minor, living by themselves, fending for themselves in the house.
But it's kind of different because she's next door. She's not down the street. I can always walk out of my house and go right to her. So she's kind of like there. It's like if you leave your 15-year-old home alone, while you go and carry on with your business, but you still go back home and she's right there. It's not like she's in a different apartment complex. They're in the same place. It's just like she's in the house, but she's in the back of the house.
I just kind of feel like okay, you want her to have her own independence. You're rich enough, right? Why don't you make one of the rooms in the house like a studio then? That way she's still technically in your actual home. When you come in, you know she's there, you can, knock on the door easily. But if you have to go check on her, you literally have to leave your own house, come out into a public, hallway to just go check on her. And I feel like if something was to bad happen, like, break in or something like that, by the time you even hear it as a neighbor, and I'm talking from a point on a standpoint where the stuff that's happened in my building that I don't know about, that's been really tragic, you know what I mean, to my neighbor, whereas I feel like if somebody was right in the room next door, the walls are a little bit thinner there, and you're likely to find out quicker and act on it a lot quicker. Do you know what I mean?
I do. I understand.
So I don't know, but you think it's okay?
I think it's okay, because I really think it's okay, because they're right. She's right there. If she's 15 years old, that's just like if I'm leaving my children home and I need to go to work. You're 15 years old. You can stay home alone. I don't have to call nobody to watch you. Then when I get back, you at home. You inside.
Do you not think it would have been better if she was maybe 18 first?
Maybe, but I still I don't see what's wrong with the 15-year-old. I don't see anything wrong with it, though. I just don't.
And what do you think of the statement she made when she basically was saying that whatever her child wants to try, she allows it? Like if she wants to try this and the other, and other people were like, even sex at 15, would you allow that? She was like, well, virginity can either be given or stolen. And I was like, oh my gosh, she's a minor.
Yeah, she was saying it could be lost or stolen. Yeah, but I still don't think. I think she's trying to be as like, I was 15. I had her when I was 15. So I know it could possibly happen that she can be sexually active at 15. So I don't think she was really saying that's what she should do, but she was saying she was okay if it happens, because she was a teenager once before. So she was just...
I get being open, but I kind of feel like you do need to kind of be able to make your child aware that it's not okay because she's a minor. You know what I mean? If that makes sense. I get it, past experiences, but those past experiences, if anything, should teach you to say, you know what, maybe let me try and protect my child's innocence for as long as I can, Ava says maybe she's doing it as a financial asset. In what way? Wait, so her daughter can own a home, maybe? Do you think, like, what, you think that she's put her name on the lease? But again, she's a minor. Would that be legal for her name to be on a lease? Or, you know what I mean? I mean, I know you can maybe purchase a house and put the name in their house, but can you lease out a house? Can you rent out a house in the minor's name? Can you even purchase a house and have a minor's name on it? I've always wondered about that. I'm not sure. I'm not 100%. What's Puff? Puff says she was very hurt. She decided to stay, and I was happy that he realized how much he hurt her. Do you think Two-Face he really realized how much he hurt that woman? I don't know. I think he did. Sorry, and does it again.
I think he did. I think he realized. I think he realized how he hurt her, and he was saying that he didn't know the hurt at the time it was happening, but now he sit back and he see the things that she's done with the kids, and he's realized that he need to step up and he need to do things different. I think he realized.
I do hope he treats that woman better, because I felt like, honestly, if I would want to pop him one the way he put that woman through. But we've got another caller who's joining us on this live. Let's add our additional caller, make this a very interesting discussion. Hey, Fee-Love. Wait, just when Fee-Love came on, she just I was just about to put her on. What happened? Okay, maybe something happened with the network. She'll be back. Let's hope. I don't know. I'm still... the jury's still out. I'll be honest. For me, the jury is still out in regards to that. Let me... Fee-Love is back, so let's add Fee-Love back in to the discussion. Hey, Fee-Love. Fee, you're muted. Okay, Fee-Love, I think. Fee? Hello. Fee-Love, can you hear us? I think there might be a slight sound situation. For me, like I was saying, whilst Fee-Love sorts her mic, my thing, I honestly feel like the jury's still out. I can't unmute Fee. She has to unmute herself.
Okay.
She's muted right now. She has to unmute herself. It won't let me even if I wanted to. It literally won't let me. My thing is the jury is still out. Okay, Fee's still sorting out some technical things. She will be with us in a second, so it's all good. So I think he only realized because people spoke about this for years. Hey, it's flipping took him forever. It took him forever to realize, and obviously now he's put himself on Front Street on a whole show. Do you know what I mean? So okay, we've got another caller on the line. Let's add Powerful. Hello, Powerful.
Hello.
Some technical things. She'll be with us in a second, so it's all good.
Your TV.
So I think he only
What you say?
because people.
Oh wait, let me turn.
This for years.
Let me turn you down.
Yeah.
Because I have you playing on two different things.
So, what are your thoughts, Powerful?
Okay. So, I like Annie.
Mm-hmm.
I like Swinky.
Mm-hmm.
I even like Annie's husband, Two-Face. So my take on that is, and I heard what you were saying, but this is the thing. And she even said it when they had that dinner that night. We were so young, and we got together and we were so young, and everybody makes mistakes. Right. So the thing of it is that when there's infidelity, you have two choices. You can forgive and stay, or you can leave. She chose to stay. Right. Then you have infidelity again. She chose to stay. Because I guess she's seen something in him that, everybody else don't see. But what I did appreciate was that the night at the dinner, he sat down and he said to her, I've done you wrong. I've did this, I've did that. And I now see how much I've hurt you. So that to me, I was really good with him with that. And we'll just go on and see how, their relationship is, gonna turn out. Now, I don't know her name, is what is it, Connie, that goes with the young guy?
Yeah.
Okay, so in the beginning, I thought Connie was what would I call it? A switcher, because 1 minute she was talking to Annie, and then the next minute she go and talk to Zari, and she was like straddling the fence.
Yeah, I think Annie did stir the pot quite a bit.
Right, she did.
Very strategic.
And that she did, and I thought that was really crazy. I'm like, okay, you're sitting with Annie and you're telling her one thing, then you get with Zari and you're telling her something else. So you're kind of fuming the fires. Which is really crazy. Now, what is his name? The guy that goes with the African girl.
The one with the stupid DJ name. I thought
DJ Quentin.
DJ Naked DJ.
Naked.
Really naked DJ.
Now, this is my thing. If you're with this girl and you see that she's a little too clingy, why don't you tell her?
Right.
That I think that, you can come over every now and again, but give me a chance to miss you. She's not giving him a chance to miss her. And she's like, oh, no, we don't live together, but you're always over there. So
do you think that maybe he misled her?
No, I don't think he misled. I think he really cares about her. I don't know I know he's not in love with her. He may love her. He's not in love with her.
Yeah.
But the thing of it is, and that's why they had that big blow up, that he wasn't at Schwenke's reveal. So if you're having those kind of issues in your relationship, why didn't you just tell her that she's a little too clingy?
That's the thing. I think with their relationship, I kind of feel like they just rushed into the relationship without becoming friends. And I feel like because they didn't become friends, they couldn't be comfortable enough to confront their feelings. You know what I mean? To confront what they really feel. Because I did find it a bit silly that he kept on venting to everybody else. Yeah, she's around me. She's this, you know, I want to miss you. I want to da da da. And then he's complaining.
Right, but you're not telling her.
You're not telling her. You're telling everybody else but her. And then you're allowing this thing to carry on whilst you're uncomfortable that she's always at your house, but she's thinking, remember, that it's okay. Because you're like, you're not saying anything. And so this is where people don't understand the value of communication in relationships, you know? And I feel like that was the biggest problem when it came to them. Obviously, they ended up, you know, it worked out in the end. But I don't know. Do you think they're going to last?
No.
Yeah, me neither. Me neither.
Can y'all hear me now?
Yeah.
Fila, welcome.
So no, I don't think they're gonna last. And I don't. The young girl that goes with the American guy.
Yes.
I like her.
Nadia,
I like her.
Nadia. I love Nadia.
Nadia, I like her. She's like me. She's no bullshit. Listen, I ain't got time for this. We ain't doing this. You want to act like that? Let me take my earrings off and we can throw down. That's Nadia. She is straight, no chaser. I like her. Now, Zori. No, let me get to her baby daddy.
Diamond Platnumz.
Yeah. Now, well, we really didn't see too much of him. So
we didn't.
Yeah, we really didn't see.
I think because of the level of his status, he was like, if I have to appear in every episode, it's going to cost you.
Right. So we really didn't see too much of him. And him and, you know, Zari acts like they had this, oh my God, this outlandish relationship. Okay, he cheated. And you know, you have 2 kids by him. That's fine. Y'all are co-parenting, but I think she still wants to be with him.
Me too.
I think she still wants to be with him, and he just going on doing his own thing. And Zari, somebody need to deflate her head because she, you know, and they said it in episode 5. She's like, Connie said, there's no elitists here. We're all, you know, we're all famous. We're all wealthy, but she feels as though that she's above everybody.
Oh,
she feels as though
Mahaji says these ladies are just jealous of Zari. Diamond wants Nadia, and yet he can't buy the idea of Andy courting Zari. Wait, who's Andy?
Andy is the hoe. That's what I call him.
Oh, Andy. Oh, of course. Short for Andy. I was like, wait, who Andy? Andy Bravo?
No.
Mahaji, you think they're jealous of Zari? I don't think they're jealous.
I don't think they're jealous of her. They have, first of all, what is there to be jealous of? That's my thing. What is there to be jealous of her?
Because they're all doing very well for themselves.
Thank you.
Yeah, they're all doing really, really well for themselves. Yes, she's a pretty girl, but they're all actually quite beautiful women. You know, if anything, for me, actually, the person who I actually think is the most beautiful out of all those women is
Annie.
Annie.
Yeah. I say Annie is the most pretty.
Annie is the most beautiful girl amongst them all. So you know,
and what I didn't like the fact, because to me, she wasn't asking Zari, how do you know my husband? Like, oh, did you sleep with my husband? She was just like, oh, how do you know my husband? And Zari made it seem like, oh, you're asking me how I know your husband, like I slept with your husband. I'm like, well, where did she get that from? Because I didn't even take that from that. And then for her to pull her husband aside and then to call her over there, oh, I just want you to know me and your husband never had anything going on. I'm like, what? Girl, come out the cloud.
The whole thing did not make sense, you know. So let's see. Philove obviously just joined us. Philove, what is your take?
So I just want to put a disclaimer out there that I have only seen 1.5 episodes so far. I haven't had a chance to watch the whole thing.
Okay.
But I wanted to give a little bit of feedback on like what Steph was talking about as far as the parenting and yeah. So I'm kind of 50-50 with it, right? When I first heard it, I was kind of like, oh my gosh, she has her own apartment. But then when I heard that it's literally right next to her mother, I was like, okay, that's different. She's not like far away. It depends on what type of building it is and how it's set up. I don't know if it's like if her mom owns the building and then kind of built an apartment for her daughter, you know, like I don't know like the setup, but I will say that like when me and my husband first moved here, we was really thinking about putting like my oldest teenage boy, and at the time he was like 16, like out in the pool house and just make that an apartment because he's so messy. But so he was like technically gonna have like it would have been his first place, but it's still on my property. You know what I mean? So and I felt that he was mature enough to kind of be able to handle it. Of course, I have cameras everywhere, so he wouldn't have been able to get away with nothing. But it is a separate entrance and it's detached from my house. So I was like, well, would that have made me a bad parent? So I'm kind of on the fence. Like, I think it all depends on the setup and the child.
I don't think labeling her a bad parent is really the right word to use. You know, I don't think. I mean, did Anne call her a bad parent, or did they just? Was it when they were arguing? They started.
Well, she was turning her nose up at it. She was very judgmental. And I feel like
I personally just don't agree with it because maybe I'm the type of person I'm very when it comes to safety, if that makes sense. And I know it might seem ridiculous and outlandish.
Yeah.
But another apartment for me just feels miles away. You know, even if it's right next door.
But like I said, it just depends on the setup because I literally was going to do the same thing, Alaka. Like seriously, he was going to the pool house and the pool house was getting ready to be a little studio.
You'd be in the same yard and there wouldn't be a bunch of strangers walking down the corridor.
Right. That's why I said I haven't been able to decipher if does she own that building? You know what I mean? Like, is that her build or is it like other people living in the apartments, like or is it that she, you know what I mean, like like I'm curious about the setup. You know what I mean, because like you said, if it's a whole bunch of different strangers that live there, then I don't know, I still kind of wouldn't be judgmental because I think it depends on the child, because some kids are way more mature than other kids. That's true. You're the only one that's going to know what your kid can and can't handle. But I think that when it comes to parenting, it's hard enough, and to have another mother like jump on you and be judgmental, I think that, you know, sometimes we need to think as mothers like, okay, you know, it may not be the choice I would have made, it may not be the choice you would have made, but maybe this fits her life and her lifestyle for whatever reason. So I don't know, like I actually like Annie, but I feel like she was being just a tad judgmental when it came to that, not knowing the full circumstances.
Right. And I do like the fact that they do get together and they talk it out. And one thing, like I said in the beginning, I was a little bit irritated at Zari, not with the parenting thing, but just the way she was being too boisterous, you know.
Annie?
But I think
now that got on my nerves.
And when that got pushed out of the way and she stopped with the boisterous stuff, she just became herself. I was like, okay, she's a bit of a right, because she's actually able to talk a lot of sense.
Right.
Or not. Her and her bad makeup and her red eyes. Can someone tell me why her eyes are so red?
I think because she wears a lot of heavy lashes and she probably got liner on them. Because when I put liner and stuff on, my eyes get red too. They get really red.
That should be like me. I don't wear lashes. Like, I feel like
I don't really wear it either. But if I put it on, my eyes get bloodshot red for a long time before they settle down. Like my eyes really can't take all that stuff. So they get really, really red. So you never know, like, what she might be putting on.
Mahaj says that why are they all ganging up against Zari? Zari had beef with Annie, yes, in which she did apologize. I mean, she did apologize. I think the first time round it didn't go so well because of the fact that I don't think Zari was completely receiving Annie's perspective, you know. Instead, she kind of antagonized her a little bit more, and I think kind of borderline gaslit her, you know, about what conversation she was having with her husband, you know. And even Annie in the confessional made it very, very clear that she didn't have a problem with her taking her husband aside. The problem she had was she asked her to come over just to embarrass her in front of her husband by reiterating, even if he didn't use the exact words, she was reiterating that your wife is technically insecure, you know. And I find it fascinating every time Two-Face gets pulled aside by a woman, he's like, I'm being called, I don't know what this is about. I don't know. Every time it's like literally he had the same line. I don't know what this is about. I don't know what this is about.
Yeah, that was one of the issues that I had with Zari also, because she kept trying to push the point of Annie being insecure, her being insecure, her being insecure. At what point was she insecure? That's where I was lost at.
If she could have nipped it in the bud when the girl first asked her, "Oh, how do you know my husband?" She could have said, "Oh, I know him from business a long time ago."
Exactly.
She made it. She wanted people to believe that there was something else going on.
She let it linger. She let it linger, and then she made it worse by basically making it look like Annie was on her case, constantly going, "How did you know my husband? How did you know? You need to tell me. How do you know my husband?" And that was
even Annie said it when she came over there. She said, "No, I didn't ask you like that. I was just asking you. You know, how did you know my husband?"
And I find that quite crazy because, and this is where, in the beginning, I liked Zari when she walked in, you know, she owned the room, and I was like, okay, girl, you know what I mean? I see you. Then afterwards, I was like, oh, I was like, at first I was doubting myself, thinking, okay, is it me or this girl loves herself a little bit too much? You know what I mean? I was like, she thinks the world kind of revolves around her. And I think what really culminated to everything kind of going down south was the safari trip that they took. And before I get into the arguments and stuff like that, can I just touch on the funny moment where they were like, we need to leave because the lions were just there. And I remember thinking to myself, you see, black people, we don't do this.
And Annie came right back and said that.
Go 1 meter away, you know what I mean? A few yards away from a lion. We don't do that. We were like, keep it moving. You know, and I remember thinking to myself, you know, you can find like some of our fellow white folk, they'll be like, oh my gosh, look at it. Let's get closer.
That's what Annie said. Annie said, we don't do white people ish. I mean, you need to just move on.
Keep it moving.
Yes, can we just move?
I find it hilarious when a Swanky Jerry and Annie, they're literally like this. Like going, oh my gosh, because that would be me. That literally would be me. Like, are you for real right now? That's a wild cat. It could decide to pounce at any moment if it feels like it. Can we please keep going? You know?
I didn't even want to be next to the hyena. I was like, I don't care.
I don't know why, for some reason, when I was watching that scene, it kind of gave me a throwback of how I was in Atlanta when they did the South African trip. You know, with the ladies. But like, obviously, when they were all in the train, Zari decided to get up and give some massive speech. In my opinion, I didn't think the speech was that necessary. And also, I did get where the others were coming from when she was like, thank you for that. As soon as she said, I said, oh, someone's going to have a problem with that.
My invite.
This. I'm like, okay, why are you emphasizing it like that? And this is what she didn't understand, is the way her delivery made it seem like and you know, I just kind of feel like there's a way on how you can carry yourself and how you can verse yourself, you know what I mean, when you're trying to welcome people and stuff like that without trying to make them look like, I'm the queen and you're the peasants.
And that's what Connie was saying.
You know,
that you want to put yourself above everybody else.
You know, and so I mean, it was very telling even afterwards when Anne decided to uninvite her from the wedding because she didn't want any unnecessary drama. And she basically said it would be a benefit for Anne if she was at the wedding rather than the other. And I said, you did not just say that about this woman. It's like, it's not like she's Beyonce or Princess Diana. And I'm like, she's still a human being who loves her husband. She's just as valuable as those people. What are you talking about, mate? And that really irritated me about that statement. I think it was one of the stupidest statements that ever came out of her mouth.
It was.
You know, it was not necessary. It was really not necessary. And we're not, obviously we're not trying to do a Zari bashing thing, but unfortunately, this is the bed that Zari made in the show, unless she's going to blame editing. But unfortunately, she did leave a lot to be desired in terms of how her mannerism and some of the things, the way she kind of carried herself, even when they had the train incident, everyone kind of went a little bit quiet, rather than waiting to talk about it with Kanye, who's her friend. She decided in a safari car to discuss it with Naked DJ and Naked DJ's girlfriend, which means you gave them an opportunity to create a decision or an opinion before even hearing the other side of the story. You know what I mean? Together. And so that's why by the time they were sat on the dinner table, everything just went left very quickly. And how left things had gone when his name has left my head again. What's his name?
Swanky
Jerry. When Swanky Jerry got upset, because he's the one who doesn't sweat the small things. He does not sweat the small stuff. So for Swanky Jerry to actually get upset and see that, okay, what are you doing? And he even said it in the confession. It's pretty clear. She sat down and she spoke to these people already, and they formed opinions about the situation. Because how are you going to come and form certain opinions about something without actually discussing, to say, actually, I would like to know why, there was a somber vibe, or, what I mean? After I mentioned this, has anyone got anything to say and stuff like that? I would like to know, but she didn't do that. So that caused a bigger problem, which made me side eye, what's his face? The DJ, Naked DJ. And I was thinking, dude, like, this is the other girls is your friend, more your friend than her. So what are you doing? So what of Nadia Zari has not even stepped on her toes, but she dislikes her, or is it because of her interest towards Diamond? I mean, with Nadia, I think with Nadia, she's a ride or die type of person. And I feel like when she heard obviously the opinions of her friends, she kind of just went, yeah, I don't know parts of this. You know what I mean? And it might be perceived as unfair. And yes, maybe it is unfair, but sometimes it is what it is. When you're in friendship groups and you find somebody's causing problems for the most part for other people, you don't need much ammunition to kind of form an opinion around them, Now, with that said, when it comes to Zari
just have bad energy.
Do you think?
She do.
Her thing with Andile, what do you guys think about her and Andile flirting with each other?
She have garden tool tendencies. I can tell you that right now. She have garden tool tendencies. Yes.
I was like, already, obviously, there was the whole issue that people had, if you remember. And Andile, I think he was such a hypocrite in that situation, because he came at Nadia when Nadia and Platnumz were flirting, right? To say, oh, you've already got a boyfriend. What are you doing? This and the other. You need to stop, blah, 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 blah. And so Nadia kind of gave that a rest. She kind of moved on, right? And then he goes and starts to flirt with Zari. But he takes it a little further to the point where he's like, oh my gosh, I can't rest if she's not around. I can't this, and that. Now, obviously, I went over checked on everybody's Instagram accounts, okay, after watching the show. And I found that Zari's got a whole new man. So it's not even Andile. So I don't know if they did this for the show, just for the sake of kind of like causing drama within the show. Because even the way it ended, I was like, are we not going to resolve this? Are they going to give us a season 2 to find out what happened? Because all over Instagram, Zari's got a whole other man. And it's not Andile.
She said she had a man before Andile.
So what the heck was Andile thinking? Like, what was he thinking? It's weird for me,
Hey, Alaka, I got a question. Why does it seem like these women skin look strange?
This is what we're talking about. The makeup is just off.
It just like Zari looks like she's light skinned, but she's not supposed to be. Like, I'm not trying to be like, I'm looking at these women and it looks like their skin.
They bleached it.
Okay, so
okay.
Kanye's got bleached skin. I'm gonna say skin. Kanye has.
Yeah, you can tell her skin is bleached.
Yeah. So here, have a look.
Okay.
Let me.
Because I'm looking at the show now while I'm talking to you guys too, and I'm just seeing Zari for the first time, and the first thing I thought is her skin looks so weird.
I don't know if Zari bleached her skin, but Kanye definitely bleached her skin. I was none the wiser until my cousin actually sent me a message to say, this is not her original skin tone. And I was like, wait,
but
what?
Looking at Zari's, hers looks like hers.
You think Zari's
I mean, not Zari,
Kanye.
Kanye. Hers look a little strange to me too.
Yes, Kanye's is the one that's got bleached skin. I'm gonna show you.
I bet you if we find some old pictures of Zari, hers is too. Hers looks strange.
All right, guys, can you see that?
Yes.
So this is the original.
Oh my gosh, you're kidding me.
Yeah. This is the original Kanye, and this is the now Kanye. Although she looks a lot even lighter here than she did on the show.
That's crazy to me.
Yeah. This is the same girl.
What the hell?
Crazy, right?
I'm sorry. This is shocking to me.
And it's
she was to me prettier with her brown skin.
She was. And
I wonder if you can look up Zari and see if you can find some old pictures on her, because I swear she looked like she bleached hers too.
Okay, what is Zari Hassan, right? Zari Hassan. Oh, skin bleaching is coming up as an option. Okay, this is her. She's a. I think she's always been light skinned. Looks like it. I don't know why this is there together. What are they saying? I think this is. I mean, there she looks a lot brighter. But then again, you know how it is, like with cameras advancing and stuff like that. There's a lot of people who looked a lot darker years ago, as opposed to now. But it looks like she was always light skinned. Can you see?
Yeah, I'm looking.
Yeah.
It looks like she might have been like somewhat light skinned, but I swear it looks like she done bleached her skin.
Do you think she added to it? That's her there. That's her.
Yeah.
There.
She definitely has bleached. Because it's a weird look that it's like I can't explain it, but it just doesn't look natural.
Right. Because the one who's got definitely, you can see that her natural skin tone is Nadia. Nadia's skin tone is natural.
Yes.
Nadia's skin tone is natural. But I can see what you mean. Yeah, this is her. So let's see, this is another one. Okay, you see, I don't know how old this is. She doesn't look as light as this. That's a whole white girl there. That's a whole white girl there.
Right. I like a white girl.
This one there.
OMG.
That's the same person. That's the same person. That's literally the same person.
Yeah, she bleached.
Well, I'll
be sure.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
I'm so shocked. No, I'm not shocked. I'm just wondering. I know it's a trend. I know because it's a trend in Caribbean countries too with Black women.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just I don't even know why I would ask why. I know why, because colorism must be really
colorism plays a huge part where people are made to feel like if they're not light, they won't have opportunities, or people will love them less,
Wow.
Okay, so Mahaj, who is Team Zari, we have to have somebody who's a stand for somebody, right? So Mahaj, good looking out for your girl. I'm sure Zari has never bleached. Money is what makes her glow.
Money turns her skin.
You can't get 3 shades lighter with money.
No, indeed, Lord. She's Michael Jackson. That girl just did a Michael Jackson, and y'all gonna tell me money did that?
I was gonna say, like, I can have all the money in the world. It's not gonna make my skin 3 shades lighter. Sorry.
No.
It just isn't.
No. She pulled the Michael Jackson. I'm sorry.
You can, Mahaji, if you want to join in, look at the pinned comment. We've got the StreamYard link pinned at the very top of the chat. You're free to call in and give us your opinion. Obviously you are Team Zari, so it'd be really good to actually have somebody who's got a different, point of view, because obviously, Zari did leave a lot to be desired. What did you think? Obviously, Fee, you haven't gotten to that stage yet, but towards the end,
No, I'm so excited though. I can't wait.
they do take this thing called dema. I wrote it down actually. Dema. Hang on, I did write it down. They took some drips. That were like VRs, IVs, or whatever they call it. What was the medication? Do you hear? Someone did mention it, and I wrote it down. I was like, well, what is that?
So what does that do? That just takes the melanin out your skin?
I think so. I think it's supposed to help with giving you, when you've got hyperpigmentation, it's supposed to help with that. But you know how people always tend to use stuff for more than what it's
overabuse it. Yeah.
Overabuse it. And so basically, glutathione. I think it's pronounced glutathione or glutathione.
Wow.
Yeah, so they were taking glutathione drips.
And you know what's hilarious is that you got white women that go lay under the heat lamp for hours to get darker.
Mm-hmm.
It's like,
there we go. Abe says glutathione. Glutathione. Which one is glutathione?
Oh my gosh. Wow.
So yeah, that's what they were taking. They were taking those drips. But I think it's the norm. I think for people to take, I mean, if Anne was taking it as well for that night to try and help her skin glow or whatever, I think maybe it's supposed to help you feel glowy and stuff like that. But I don't think it's supposed to be overused to the point where it kind of like overly, bleaches your skin, So I want to touch on Two-Face and Anne, their relationship. To Baba. To Baba. Now, I was having a conversation with my good friend AB's down there earlier on, and I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I was actually in a music video with him. And she was like, oh my gosh, you could have been one of his victims. And I was like, I think not. Because I came there, I did my job, and I left. I did not cozy up to him or anything like that. You know what I mean? I came, did the music video, and besides, the person whose music video was my friend. So if he even tried to say anything or tried to ask for anything, it would have been through my friend, and he probably told him to back off. You know what I mean? But that relationship and the cheating and having 4 kids before you even have a kid with the person, whilst you're still with the person, would you stay with him? Even if obviously, yes, now he's apologized and stuff like that, but let's look at the whole pattern and what it actually, on the mental aspect of it, what it did to Anne. What are your thoughts on that?
I would have been Anne, because I was with my husband for 20 years and my husband cheated the whole 20 years. And it has to be her to get tired. She's going to get to a point where she's not going to want to take it anymore. But it's all on her. I said, for better or for worse, I tried to stick it out. After 20 years, I'm done. It's no more. It's no more that I can do. So, I mean, she's going to be there until she's tired.
And so in terms of, obviously, even if she's decided to stick with it, right, and forgive him and stuff like that, what do you think it's done to her as a person when it comes to self-esteem, and things like that? If you remember when in episode 1, they were sat on the bed and he decided to use her phone to do like to help her do a Google search for Nadia, I think, to look at her, her music and stuff like that. And he saw that the last search she did was on her husband, She
just wanted to know what he was doing and see if they had any news out about what her husband was doing.
So it's got nothing to do with the fact that she might have been feeling a bit insecure and she has to keep tabs on him?
I don't think so, because she didn't know where he was at all times. I mean, just wait and see. I think she just wanted to see. And I don't think her self-esteem is low at all. I think she has high self-esteem. I don't think her self-esteem is low at all.
I don't know. I do feel there is a lot of hurt and pain in her, though.
Oh, yes. She hurt.
And I feel like it has affected her mental health maybe to a degree, because the fact that when he eventually apologized and he talked about, how he even missed her harassing him, as he put it, because, it's a Niger term, where she was always on his case and stuff like that. He even missed that about her, even the way the kids were demanding certain things, asked for certain things, and he had no idea what to do. He realized how much work she was actually putting into the family and stuff like that. And she was literally bawling her eyes out.
She was.
I was like, the cameramen are well messy. She said, "Can they please cut? Can they?"
They would never cut. They never.
And they never cut.
But I think she was crying at that point because he finally realized how he hurt her. He didn't know how he hurt her. But when he was saying it, she realized, now you see how I was feeling. Now you understand.
And that's what I said. Yeah.
It was to a point where now you get it. She was happy. She was happy. She was crying, but she was happy that he finally realized that what he was doing to her hurt her.
And I want to also touch on her friendship with Kanye. What do you think about how it ended up developing into a really good friendship?
I thought that was pretty cool. At first I was like, oh, the girl just about to use her, and I thought she was gonna try to embarrass her in some kind of way, but she never did. She never tried to embarrass her. But I thought it was good the way she was starting to stick up for her, even when she pulled Baba to the side and was like, look, when y'all do the renewal, you need to do something special for her. Let her know how you feel about her. And he was like, he could have took it in the wrong way, but he took it the right way. Like, she looking out for her girl. Like, this has become her girl. She want her girl to be happy, so she want her girl to feel special. So he was like understanding of her, because at first I was trying to figure out, why did Kanye want to meet him? Why did she want to pull him to the side? You don't know him.
Right. No, I think with Kanye, I did see, like, obviously as their relationship kind of developed, I could see that she had good intentions. Even though she went about, she said, I want to pull him aside. I actually want to have a conversation with him. And she outright told him, said, are you aware how much this woman loves you? And I was very, very surprised about Kanye's development as the episodes went on, in the sense that the level of maturity she ended up displaying.
Exactly. Ooh,
I was very pleasantly surprised. I was like, I came from like looking at her like this because of the child situation, right? Living by herself, to like, oh my gosh, she's turned out to be one of the most mature people in this whole group. She's actually quite insightful, and she does put out some really good wisdom. She's quite wise. So I was like, okay, I'm impressed. You still need to fix your wigs. You got all this money, but sort that out. I mean, the first wig she did wear in episode 1, the blonde bob. I said, what is that? Did someone just cut it last minute?
Yeah, that was horrible.
It was horrible. And then the one on the train, what was going on with that hairstyle?
That was another mess.
They was tired. They was tired of filming, and she had to pull that wig to the side. It was just leaning.
I don't know what was going on with that wig.
It wasn't right.
I was like, what is happening?
But did y'all catch when Anna announced that she was renewing her vows? Zaria had this stink look on her face, like she was upset that they were going to renew their vows. And I was like, what is that about? Zaria had a stink look on her face, and the camera kept going to her, and she kept on looking sideways. And then she acted like she knew about how much of a relationship they had, that she barely knew the girl. But she was like, she's going to renew her vows with him, how he treated her, how he cheated on her.
And then that's when she decided to call him aside.
Yes.
See.
What episode was that?
Episode 5, I think.
It was 4.
Okay.
4?
I just need to know what to look forward
to.
It was
4. It's episode 4. I found it hilarious when they sat down, right, and had their little talk about that situation. It ended up, be you, be this, be. I was like, I was actually cracking up.
Yeah, that was funky, boy.
It was funny.
Because Zaria couldn't see what she was wrong at. She was totally wrong. She was totally wrong.
She was extremely wrong. It's one thing, the woman was okay with you talking to her husband, but I didn't understand why you felt the need to call her over. If you wanted to talk to her about the situation, why didn't you pull them both aside in the beginning? Why did you have to call the husband first and then call the wife in to reiterate the same thing?
Because she has to be the center of attraction. She has to always be right, and she feels that the women are beneath her and they're threatened by her. Who the Sam Hill are you? And why would these ladies be threatened by you?
She is sadly mistaken.
Honestly. I just found that it was a very strange move to make, in my opinion. You know, it was a really strange move to make. And I also want to touch on who's this? Nadia and her long-term boyfriend. Obviously, she went down to Mexico to meet him and stuff like that. And when she came back, obviously, she found that they broke up. I am kind of gutted we didn't get to really see much, you know, screen time of Nadia, because I think she would have been more interesting. I think because she's a bit funny, you know, as well. But her going away, obviously, she ended up missing a whole lot of drama. And then obviously, when they did the train situation, she was like, I don't know her, so I'm not going. You know, and I kind of like that about her, where she was like, I'm not going to fake the funk. You know, so me and this woman don't get on. I'm not gonna go because I don't know her like that. I'm not gonna bother with it.
The way I looked at it, when Cotty introduced Diamond to Nadia, and she knew Nadia already had a boyfriend, at the end of it, I said maybe she did that to give Nadia a story, because immediately after she introduced them, she went right to Zaria and said, well, let me go check out Nadia's competition. She wouldn't have had no competition if you wouldn't have introduced them. You fixed this up, and now you're talking about going to look for the competition. I thought that was like kind of strange. I said, but maybe they're trying to give Nadia a story, because other than that, we didn't see much of it. Of Nadia.
Maybe. Abby says, and she said Two-Face. She said to Two-Face that no, we were not banging, which just sounds so awkward. That does sound awkward. It's like
she's telling him, this is the story I'm about to tell.
Right.
Like, you know, I told your wife we was not banging.
It was a very, very weird flex, and I feel like it was not even necessary. You know what I mean? It was really not necessary. I feel like some of the characters in there are just unnecessarily messy. Even the same guy who ended up going for Zari, what's his face? Hang on, let me go back to my Andele. He brought both his baby mamas at his event.
Right, that was crazy. But then he went to go talk to Zaria.
Right. This is what I was trying to understand. I'm like, what are you playing at? And then it's the fact that Zari was also entertaining him. I'm like, Zari, what are you doing? That is literally one of your ex's close friends.
I told her she had garden tool tendencies. But my thing is this. I'm serious. She was acting like a HOE. But anyway, why did Diamond Platinum invite Nadia and then invite Zari and then ignore Nadia? I was like, that's stupid.
That was very stupid. You invite them to your birthday party and you basically just leave that on the outs. I didn't like that. I think he was being a bit messy. Obviously, Diamond Platnumz, for those who don't know, obviously, you know, very well known and everything with music, right? But he's also known because he prefers to speak Swahili for the most part, which is fine, you know, but he does make for very funny memes whenever he pronounces certain words in English. I don't know if anyone peeped this in the beginning, where when he asked, I think, Nadia a question, and then she said, oh, he's over in America and stuff like that, you know, her boyfriend. And he was like, I like the way she answered. And at first I was like, what's that? And I was like, wait, what? Answered? It's like, what? Oh, is he trying to say answered? She answered her question. And I was like, Diamond Platnumz at it again. Andy was attracted to Zari, power of the Ugandan source. I'm assuming Mahaji is Ugandan. Because Zari is Ugandan, you know, Zari is Ugandan. So I don't know. I just think it was a whole mess. Everyone was kind of doing something tiny here and there to kind of shake things up. And that's why I felt like Swanky Jerry was the more consistent one, you know. And even Anne, to a degree, she became consistent after the fact, you know. In the beginning, she was a bit like with the whole, you know, situation with Kanye. But afterwards, I was like, okay, you know what? Her thing is Two-Face, you know what I mean? Wanting him to see her and understand her as someone who sacrificed a lot for him, regardless of what he did to her. Okay, she's Kenyan. Okay, Emma Kenyan, but a fan of Zari. Okay, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. You know, I was actually even thinking like I'm surprised there were no Kenyan like superstars in there. But then I remembered that with Kenya, for the most part, a lot of Kenyans are very good athletes, so they're most well known. You know, most worldwide renowned for the athletics or Olympics and stuff like that. You know, because I don't know if I've ever heard of any big superstars who are Kenyan apart from Obama, who's half Kenyan. Um, apart from President Obama, you know, obviously he wouldn't be on the reality show. So, yeah. And then another part I just want to touch on, obviously, is who's this? Who's this? The outfits. Can we talk about the outfits for a minute, especially the ones that were worn by one of our faves, Anne, in the confessionals? Because I feel like they were such a hit and miss.
They were.
They were such a hit and miss. And I'm like, girl, what are you doing? Like,
and her best friend is a stylist. I don't know.
Right. Like, swanky. Like, how can you do your friend like that? And this is what I was saying. Like, your best friend is a stylist. He's allowing you to have makeup showing, you know, on the line of your hair when you could have blended that in. All that stuff. I was like, why isn't anyone telling these people? And her wedding, I liked the dress afterwards. You know what I mean? For the wedding. You thought it was, wait, what did you think was artistic? The line of the makeup? Avis. You think the not blending in the makeup is artistic? Or which some of the outfits I can see she was going for the arty-farty vibe, especially the one where, you know, the gloves, you know what I mean? But that's a thing right now anyways, isn't it? For you to be all covered, your whole body to be covered by an outfit like you're wearing a condom or something, you know? So that one was arty-farty. I got that one. But like there were some which were kind of like they didn't fully go. With that said, same goes for Kanye. Some of her outfits didn't go. All her wigs didn't go. You know, her clothes are different from makeup. They are different from the makeup, but like I feel like the makeup should have been blended in better. The clothes were hit and miss. There were some that were good, the some that I was like, okay, I don't know what's going on here. But same applied with Kanye. Some of her outfits were a bit off. Some of them were okay. In regards to Kanye's Anne's wedding outfit, I like the one she wore second. I don't know what was going on with the first one. You know, maybe it looked better in person, you know, than it did, you know, on camera, but it was not really pleasing to the eye. I actually felt even the way her makeup was done and everything for the wedding, her friend who was brought all the way from Nigeria, I'm assuming, her makeup was glammed up better than the bride herself. Did they not have the same glam team? I'm very, very confused about that. You know, I'm very, very confused about that. But all in all, honestly, her relationship with Two-Face, I'm happy for them that they were able to renew their vows, but I'm hoping he also renews his attitude towards her, you know, his behavior towards her and how he treats her. You know, I'm hoping he was able to renew that, because moving forward, I don't know how their relationship will survive this kind of turmoil and heartbreak that he keeps, you know, putting on this poor woman. Let's not hear there's been another child being had out of wedlock somewhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they have 7 kids, no more.
Because kids between the two of them, how many? Just the 2, right?
Them 2 have 2, but
and then the rest are from elsewhere. Yeah, 5 are from elsewhere.
Right.
That's crazy. And it seems to be the norm. Diamond Platnumz out there doing his thing, and Angela's doing, you know what I mean? It's just like, it's just mess in its entirety. Okay, so what else is it before we close up? Obviously, we've been here for 1 hour and 30 minutes, something I did not expect. Is there anything else that people would like to touch on? Overall, the production was amazing.
I didn't like the idea that they invited Zaria to the bachelorette party, even though Nadia said she wasn't gonna come. What if Nadia would have went off on her?
Right. What if she did? But I mean, she kept her cool, and I think Nadia kind of understands the rules of engagement, where she's like, okay, I want to jump up off on this woman, but this is Samba's bridal, shower, so I'm not gonna try and steal the spotlight. She knows to give someone the spotlight when it's their time to shine. She gives them that, and I did like that about her. I definitely loved the entire production value of the show, to be honest. I loved the way it was kind of cool the way they did the cinematography in the beginning. The cinematography was absolutely amazing. You know how like they had I think it was the person who was coming in to play the piano. And I was like, you do not do this. You have someone walk in and play the piano so you can be woken up. Where do they do that at? I felt like that was an exaggeration, and they just did it for the sake of the show, And also something I actually felt that was also done for the sake of the show was the conversation that Naked DJ and Kanye had, where basically she was like talking about his relationship being, in turmoil, and then he goes to say, you need to just shut up and stuff. I'm like, wait a minute, these are supposed to be friends. How come they had blow-ups all of a sudden? Because if it's your friend, wouldn't you be willing to hear them out if they've got concerns about your relationship? I would think that you would. Right?
They would have.
So I felt like that was done for the show, because what else was said that cracked me up in that scene? There was something else that Naked DJ actually said to what's her face, to Kanye. The Lamborghini thing. He was like, well, I don't know about you. Next thing, what other Lamborghini you're gonna? I'm like, oh my gosh, did you outright just call out your friend? She said the trolls are the ones that call her a gold digger. Like you've literally insinuated
your friend
to her face. And I was like, okay, this is a bit early to have, but I think I get what they were trying to do. They were like, okay, we need to kind of try and breed the drama as quickly as possible so that we can keep people engaged. And it did work. It did work for the most part, So we'll see. I mean, would you like to have a season 2?
I think they should.
Right? Powerful Love?
Absolutely.
You'd love to see a season 2?
Yes.
Would you be interested in season 2 having more characters added to the show?
No new characters. Just
because right now we need to get these under our belt, and then maybe like in season 3, maybe bring a new character or 2 in. But not now.
Okay. And were you satisfied with the 7 episodes, or did you want more?
I think it should have been 13.
More, because I was still trying to figure out why Diamond thought that Andale came to see him. Like, you came to surprise me.
Oh my God, that cracked me up so much. Oh, look at him, he's come to see me. I said, dude, he has not come to see you. He has not. I was like, okay, I'm embarrassed. This is embarrassing.
I haven't gotten that far. I'm at the wedding right now.
Okay, that's gonna come. You're still at the wedding.
Yeah.
You're not far. You're not far
I'm at the wedding.
You're not far off, because that comes shortly after. I was cracking up at that. Oh, look at him. He's so good. He's so nice. He's come to see me. My best friend literally was like, this is my boy. I said, oh my gosh, all the wrong things to say.
And she looked so stupid though, sitting there like, what?
It's literally when she opened the door, she's like, and she shut the door on him.
And she kept on looking upstairs.
And she's like, what are you looking upstairs for? Why do you keep looking upstairs? I'm like, and you know what? He's stupid as well. He could have like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna leave, and Platinum would have none the wiser. But he decided, I'm gonna stay. What are you trying to prove? And
I don't like the way he I don't like the way he's creeping. I don't like the way he's creeping, because he was trying to give a little breakdown on boy code, and if he had crossed the line. Yeah, you crossed the line, because that's supposed to be your boy. I don't care. You want to snake his ex, that's fine, but go find somebody else.
Right.
Don't snake nobody within this circle.
And that was for me. That was not it. That was not it. That was not a
Yeah.
smart move to make. I don't think it was necessary, and it could have been avoided. It was avoidable.
Yeah, and then what I didn't like, she should have cut it off, but she was being just as flirtatious as him because she liked
She
it.
was,
She
yeah,
was enjoying the attention.
right.
She was
And
enjoying the attention.
I feel like if she hadn't kept that up, she would have run out of a storyline.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? She would have run out of a storyline because apart from her suddenly taking a dislike, because if you notice, she actually took an instant dislike to Anne. She
Yeah.
actually took an instant dislike to Anne because if I remember at the Arabian Nights themed party that they had that Diamond Platnumz held, right?
She told Anne about her clothes, her butt
about
being
her clothes. Oh, this is supposed to be Arabian Nights. Some people come, but do you know? We all saw as soon as Anne walked, she's like, "Oh my gosh, we're sitting on the floor." I would have known. If had I known, I would have not worn this and stuff like that, right? You know, she actually already put a disclaimer. So you're coming in here judging this woman, you know, and a party that's not even yours. Oh, this is Arabian Night. We did it. So what? Who made you the Arabian Night police?
I told you because she thinks everybody is beneath her. She's the boss lady. What makes her the boss lady? Her big head. That's what makes her the boss lady. They need to take a pin and put it in her head and stick it in her head so it can deflate. But even at the bachelorette party, I thought, oh God, what's her name was getting in her behind?
Nadia,
yeah.
You know, Nadia was getting in on her. I was like, ooh, because she rubbed a lot of people the wrong way, and
very much so.
One or two people, but when it's a majority of the women around you, you know, or the people around you, then there is a serious problem. There is a serious problem. You know what I mean? Where everyone has to address and go, actually, you're kind of the catalyst to some of the things because you are kind of here on your high horse, thinking you're better than everybody else, rather than just coming to say, you know what? We're together. And I did love what Kanye said to say I'm gonna keep fighting with her until she realizes that we're her friends and not her fans.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, and I was like, come through, come on, Kanye. Like honestly, I thought I was gonna completely and utterly dislike Kanye. But I actually ended up liking her. I was like, okay, she's all right. You know, I don't agree with the choice of her daughter living by herself, you know, but if she feels that works for her, that works for her. I'm not in agreement with it. With that said, I think she's all right. You know, I think she's all right. Out of all the characters, out of all the cast members, who was your favorite?
Annie. I like Annie.
Mine
and
Twinkie.
And Twinkie.
And Nadia.
Yeah.
I like Nadia, but because I didn't get to see we really didn't get to see a lot of her.
Mm-hmm.
She's one of the reasons why I say they don't need to bring anybody in season 2 because we still need to get to know the characters. Like we need to get to know Diamond. We didn't get to see that much of him. We need to get to know Nadia. We really didn't get to see that that much of her.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Mahaja says Zari all the way. Come through, Zari Stan. We applaud you, Mahaj, and thank you for participating in the live. We actually appreciate you being here. Steph, you said we want Anne and Swanky? Is Steph still here? Okay, well, Steph, I don't know if her mic... but my favorite is actually Swanky. Swanky is my ultimate favorite. And I think the person that follows in second for me is definitely Nadia and then Anne in that order. And then, Kanye as well, But my most favorite person for me was Swanky all the way, Swanky Jerry all the way. I don't know, Fee, obviously you still haven't finished watching it, but so far, who are you liking the most? Fee Love? Is Fee Love still with us?
I think she's still watching.
She's still watching. Focused on because it does keep you glued. I'll be honest.
Yeah,
it does actually keep you glued. So I think the production company have done a really good job. As an African woman myself, I am so grateful for this show because I feel like for the most part, especially in the West, there's a huge misconception that Africans do not live a lifestyle that they think, there's a certain lifestyle they think is unattainable to Africans.
Right.
I think there's a lot of people who assume that when they see Africans in the West, they question, how did you get your money? How did how did you get here? This and the other. You know what I mean? Not knowing that we equally and maybe even better live way better, lavish lifestyles than the West. Not in its entirety, but there are people in Africa who live just as good and better.
But one of the things I want to see, like, okay, I know what Diamond does. I know what Two-Face does. I know what Schwenky does. So I want to see everybody else in their element.
Right. Well, I mean, we went through some of their descriptions.
No, I've seen that. I just actually want to see it on the show.
Right. Yeah, that would be.
I want to see it on the show.
Good to see that on the show. Because right now we've dealt with a lot of the drama, right? We've dealt with the drama, we've dealt with their friendships, but it would be nice to actually see them at work rather than them holding event after event after event without actually connecting the dots. As okay, fine, you can afford to put these events together, you can afford to do all of this, but how do you afford it?
Right.
How are you able to afford it? And I think that would be a really good way for us to be able to be given season 2, where we delve into more their workings behind the scenes, how they do things, when they're running their businesses, etc. I mean, these people are supposed to be extremely successful. Zari is supposed to be, apparently her net worth is like 8 million. I never checked to see the others, but because obviously with Zari, is because obviously they're saying that she was married to a billionaire and stuff like that. I mean, she claims to be a billionaire. I don't know if you noticed in one of the confessionals, she was like, I'm a billionaire, I don't need da. And I was like, you are? That's when I went and Googled her to say, okay, if you're a billionaire, I need to see for myself. And I don't think she is a billionaire. You are married to a billionaire, but you're not a billionaire, girl. So behave, But otherwise, I think that kind of brings us to a close, really. All I have to say is, for those people who are the glam team and the styling team for the cast,
yeah, they need to step it up.
Please step it the frick up, because we can't have this powdered makeup that makes them look like white chicks, okay, on the show next season. We can't have that. And then also the wardrobe, I think to a degree, some of it has to improve, especially the one for the confessionals. The wigs, I'm a wig person. There's some amazing wigs out there. They need to be styled better. Those wigs need to be styled better. They need to sit better. The makeup, even the way the eye makeup was, for the most part, especially, the cameras were doing a lot of zoom ins and stuff. You could see like there was no real precision in how the mascara was placed, you know what I mean? And things like that. It was not tidy, particularly on Kanye's face. I was thinking, oh, what's going on there? Like, you know what I mean? So that needs to really be worked on. So come season 2, you ladies need to come to really slay. You slay, you slay all the way. Okay. I would say when it comes to their makeup, I give them a 2 out of 10. When it comes to their hairstyles, I give them a 2.5 out of 10. That's how bad it was. Okay. The wardrobe was not bad. You know what I mean? For the most part, the wardrobe was actually good. The clothes were actually good for the most part.
Yeah.
The makeup and the hair was trash, to put it simply. The makeup and the hair was trash. Maybe it looked good in person, but bear in mind, the cameras are different. The lighting and the cameras are different when you're filming a show. So which means you have to change it up. You have to use different types of makeup. You have to use different types of styles and techniques to make sure the hair still looks good on camera when it's zoomed in and stuff like that. And we can't have that happen in season 2. And speaking of season 2, I'm hoping Netflix does renew it for season 2. Guys, for those who are obviously watching, would really love it if you can actually get the show trending. So for those, if you want to give more of your opinion even after we finish our live, and for those, tell your friends and your friends' friends to tune into Netflix and watch it. But also please go over to Twitter and, give your opinions on there and use the hashtag either young famous and African, or YFA, hashtag YFA or young famous and African. Use those hashtags over on Twitter so that we can get it trending. Would love to be able to see a season 2 of this, because I feel like in order to kind of debunk some of the stereotypes that people place on Africans and what is available in Africa, and also it just gives people an opportunity to get to see Africa, and I'm hoping they do travel at some point, you know what I mean, where they get to show people other parts of Africa as opposed to just Johannesburg in South Africa, so that people can actually stop having that stereotypical or ignorant point of view when it comes to Africa. And so I'm grateful for the show. I'm grateful for the production. Like I say, the production value was amazing. The drama was perfect. Everything kind of flowed really, really well. Steph saying, love that Annie did not dress up for the train casino party. I love her coming dressed up. That was hilarious. I think she was just like, I'm not going to bother.
For real.
She was just like, I'm not going to bother. And it's funny, and I found it funny because she purposefully dressed up and she said, I'm not going to dress up for this. And then Zari thought she could laugh at her. I'm like, yeah, but you're kind of laughing at nothing because she did it on purpose.
Exactly.
She didn't think that was the dress code. She didn't dress like that thinking it was the dress code. If she wanted to dress like the Great Gatsby, she would have. She chose not to.
Exactly.
So I did find that quite hilarious, but yeah, I look forward to seeing what more they have in store for us. 7 episodes felt very small, short. I think, Powerful said 13. I think 10 episodes, because I would have loved to have seen what had happened after he confessed to say he was chatting to his ex. You know what I mean? What happened between the two, what happened to their friendship. I'm hoping maybe they decided to leave it at that so that they can be able to give us season 2. I'm hoping, so we just have to wait and see. Otherwise, anyone have got any last thoughts before we try and bring this live to a close? Any last thoughts?
No, Steph, since you back, who are your favorites?
Nadia, Swanky, and Annie.
Nadia, Swanky, and Annie. Okay, so I think those are probably fan favorites, if truth be told. They are fan favorites. I can bet on it that they are fan favorites. And so before we go, guys, I just want to send a quick little reminder for our viewers out there. If you're watching us right this second over on YouTube, please do not forget to click on that subscribe button if you are not subscribed yet to our channel. And of course, click on that bell button so that you can receive notifications every time we go live, as we are right now. And of course, every time we upload new content on YouTube. Right now, you are watching from the TGZ TV YouTube channel as well as the ZMC YouTube channel. So be sure to subscribe if you're watching from the other channel as well, and click on that bell button. And of course, this very video that you're watching on right now, please make sure that you give it a thumbs up so that we can be more visible in the algorithm. And of course, I do not forget about our people who are watching us over on the Facebook. Please do not forget to click like on the video that you're watching right this second. But of course, make sure that you follow the page that you're watching from. And of course, tweak those notifications so that you can receive alerts every time we upload new content. And of course, our Facebook is attached to our platform, TGZ Magazine, which is our magazine publication where you can get everything pop culture, lifestyle, and entertainment. All you have to do is simply go to www.tgzmag.com, where you can receive all the news and updates and some fun, interesting facts right over there. Do not forget to obviously read that when it comes through all the pages. So subscribe and follow the pages that you're watching from right now, because we do post those updates directly to those places. And of course, for those who are watching us over on Twitter, because we are streaming over on the TGZ Magazine Twitter account as well, please do not forget to like this video, retweet the video, and of course, follow us if you're not following us already, as we always post our updates directly from the website onto Twitter as well, so you can easily follow the stories of all the famous celebrities and obviously the current affairs that are happening, as well as lifestyle trends and life hacks that we post about on our website. Otherwise, I would like to just give you a massive thanks for the people who called in. I'd like to give a massive thanks to Fee Love. I'd like to give a massive thanks to Steph. I'd like to give a massive thanks to Powerful. I'd like to give a massive thank you to the people in the chat. Puff said that was a great review. Thank you very much, Puff. I appreciate it. I'd also like to give thanks to one of our newbies, Mahaj. Thank you so much for tuning in. A-Biz, obviously, our regular A-Biz, thank you for tuning in. And of course, if you are watching us right now, thank you for tuning in. We appreciate your support. Otherwise, from myself and my remaining panel, and of course the rest of my team who have made our platform look better, we've been constantly rebranding, and we've got more new stuff coming in store for you guys very, very soon. So make sure that you stay tuned, because TGZ TV has got some amazing things coming in the near future for you. Otherwise, as from myself, it is good night.
You are watching TGZ TV.
The Global Zambian, the only magazine that celebrates quality, cross-culture lifestyle and entertainment.